Before we get going, for the new viewers, my name is Brando, founder of Brandlux Media. We are an e-commerce growth agency specialized in paid advertising, content creation, email marketing, and conversion rate optimization. If you're looking for a growth partner and you want a free audit, feel free to book a call down below. Now let's get going. Hey, how's it going? This is Brando from Brandlux Media, and in this video we have a banger because I'm going to bring you through the exact same infrastructure and strategies that we use to scale a client all the way up to $350,000 per month in just 3 to 4 months. So it was a super exponential and aggressive scaling procedure, and I'm going to bring you through the exact same step-by-step processes and systems that we used. So with no further ado, let's get right into the video. Okay, great. So as usual, before I dive into the strategies, I want to make sure we get the proof out of the way. As you can see, from December 1st to December 31st, 2023, so a super case study, actually, over a little over 5 days ago. As you can see here, we scaled to $363,000 in sales. The one negative thing, and this is kind of like the problem when you scale so aggressively, is that the client actually returned $77,000 of their own product just because they couldn't handle the fulfillment, right? And I always like to say, if you are not ready to scale, right, and you have the marketing set up, I can guarantee you that it's going to be a really big problem if you don't have the fulfillment side, which seems a given for many business owners, but it's actually one of the most complicated things, right? Scaling is hard because, marketing is hard in general. Finding a product is hard. I understand that, but once you find it, it's actually easy to scale, and the problem is the fulfillment. So make sure that you don't do exactly what this client did, but this video is not about that. It's about how we actually scaled all the way up to $363,000 in sales. Okay, so with no further ado, let's get right into the video in terms of the strategies and the systems that we work. As you can see here, I have several diagrams. I'm gonna dive deep into the exact creative strategy, the UGC framework, advertising frameworks, and a couple hot things that actually were very fundamental for the success and the overall strategy that we used. So make sure to stick until the end of the video. I'm gonna share everything I know. Okay, so let's start with the creative framework. Okay, so I always like to say, and by the way, this creative framework is in regards to how to actually scale with UGC and how to decide how many creators, how many creatives. I'm gonna bring you through the exact process. So this is where it all starts. You need a winning offer, you need a winning product, or else anything that I'm talking about actually doesn't really make too much sense. If you don't have a winning product or a winning offer, it's hard to do anything that I'm talking about. So make sure you find that. Either way, you want to test a winning offer in different angles. And once again, make sure to stick until the end because I'm going to talk about this specific aspect, which is fundamental to the entire system of how to choose the right angles. Because many people just sell one product in one way, but there's actually dozens, 50, 100 different ways of selling the same exact product, but with different marketing angles and different perspectives, right? I'm going to go through that in just a second. But once you find your winning angle, right, then you can scale that angle, and then you can go all in into user-generated content, right? If you're not familiar with what UGC is, user-generated content, you should by now, because it's one of the most hot topics when it comes to scaling your e-commerce brand. And it actually doesn't have to be e-commerce; it can be a product or a service. User-generated content is what actually scales because the piece of content is very, extremely relatable to to your service and what you're offering. Either way, once you find the angle, this is what I advise you to do, and this is what we've done with our clients. You find the angle, and then you decide to work with perhaps 5 different creators. And of course, if you haven't noticed yourself, the green, these boxes are green because it's a proven concept that worked. The other creators and the other boxes that are blue are just concepts that did not work and were not maybe profitable, right? So the green ones are the ones that are proven. So invest into UGC only once you have a winning angle and a winning offer. By the way, how do you even know that it's a winning angle? The moment you turn on the ads, they're profitable and they're ROI worthy. If they don't have an ROI, once again, I would keep the UGC portion after, because it's expensive and it can get very time consuming at the same time. So find your UGC creators, have them test 2 to 3 different hooks. Give them a framework, and I'm going to talk about the framework of how to set it up here. Don't worry about it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to go over this in just a couple minutes, but give them a specific framework of how to structure the video and have them do between 2 and 3 different hooks. And a hook is the first 5 seconds of the video. In the first 5 seconds of the video, when it comes to social media ads, or typically the most crucial component. And essentially what it is the first 5 seconds. So once again, you partner with a creator, you give them a framework, and you tell them to create 2 to 3 different variations at the start of the video so that you can split test those variations, right? So once again, we have them create around 5 videos. If you can't afford 5, maybe do 3, once again with 2 to 3 hooks, and you find the winning concept that works. And once you find the 2 creators that work and the UGC videos that work, you've tried to replicate with 5 other creators the same exact framework, the same exact script, right? Similar hooks, and most importantly, similar creators, right? If you can find the same exact creator, right, or a very similar creator that has similar physical characteristics or speaks in a very similar way, then this is going to increase the likelihood of the actual UGC video to perform just like the previous ones. So this is kind of like the creative framework, a 30,000 foot view on the top. Okay, so let's talk about the UGC framework. And here, this is exactly the script, let's call it script or framework, that the UGC creator is going to receive. And once again, if you do not send this framework and you just have them do the video, sure, it might work, but they are just gonna get lost. They don't understand maybe the product, they don't know what's proven to work in your ad account, so you need to tell them. Now, don't get me wrong, don't send them scripts. The reason why I have a bunch of words here is because it's for this example in this video. So I've actually written down the word by word, that is essentially, these are the words that the UGC creator could potentially say. But don't send them the script, because if you send the script, it's gonna sound scripted, and the video is not gonna end up, being a good video. It's just not gonna feel natural, if you know what I mean, okay? So one other thing to consider is that this framework is necessary, because you can have the most, let's say, beautiful and experienced creator, but if you don't give them the framework, it's 70% of the work. The framework is what gets the actual sales, not the creator itself. That's like 30% of the success, right? So 30%, 70%. So let's go through this example. This is a smoking product, so keep that in mind, and I'm gonna bring you through the exact psychological mindset and framework that we use for this exact script. So this is the framework. We start with a hook, problem, pain. You introduce a problem or a pain, you agitate the pain, right? You multiply the pain. Failed solution, maybe things that the customers could have tried in the past. The solution, which is the product, features, benefits, and then call to action, which is maybe go get yours now before the sale ends. So let's start with this very quickly. Hook, I want to share something that has been a game changer for me in my battle to quit smoking. So this is a perfect hook. I don't need to explain this why, but it's a perfect hook because it's hard to quit smoking, right? So this is one of the of the hooks that we tested for this client, and it works super well. Okay, so problem and pain. I've been trying to quit smoking for years now, but I've always failed, right? And this is a super huge pain because it's something that a lot of people are dealing with. They're trying to quit smoking, but they can't. And by the way, this framework is not the this storyboard that I'm showing you is not what we used for this client. That's private information. It's NDA. I can't show you everything. This is something that we used for another client that actually got similar results. So here, agitate the pain. Even if I managed to go without smoking at home or work, as soon as I would go out with friends, I couldn't stop myself. Another agitating the pain. Plus, I spent way too much money on a habit that was destroying my health. So these are just additional ways to just increase the pain level, right? If you are able to increase the pain level, it's going to trigger people, and it's going to allow them to watch more of your videos, and therefore increase your click rates, and therefore increase your advertising costs, and therefore decrease your cost per acquisitions, right? So we want to do everything that we can think of to make sure people stick around on our videos so we get better CPMs and better costs, right? So failed solutions. I tried so many things to quit smoking, nicotine patches, gums, but nothing happened. And why do we have failed solutions? Because long story short, many, like the ideal customer, probably tried different solutions in the past. So we want to put them in the script so that there's a higher level of resonation, and we're answering their objections, saying, yeah, it's not the nicotine patches, it's not the gum, it's something else that you never heard of. And this is where we introduced the product. But then I stumbled upon something that changed everything for me, and it's the product thing. Let me tell you, it's not just another product, it's a lifeline of those of us fighting to quit smoking. So once again, this is the solution, and it triggers people, and then you have features and benefits of the product, and then a call to action. You can read through the script yourself. But once again, let me know if you have any questions about storyboards and frameworks, but this is 70% of your success when it comes to UGC in general, okay? Let's move on to the advertising framework. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I know a lot of people that have a bunch of different campaigns, probably have an ad account full of like 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 different campaigns, and it's just a complete mess. And maybe that was the way to do it in 2015, maybe also 2018, but now that we're in 2024, there is definitely a lot more of a simple process to set up your advertising framework. So this is what I would do if I were you, and this is the exact same process that we use for the client. We have 3 campaigns, okay? Maybe we can end up doing going up to 5 or 7 if we want to test multiple different things, but we like to set up 3 different campaigns. One for prospecting, and it's a CBO, campaign budget optimization, right? And we have a retargeting CBO, so same type of campaign, but it's for retargeting. And then we have an advantage shopping campaign that targets both bottom of funnel and top of funnel, so both prospecting and both retargeting at the same time. Let me go through this example. Now, what a CBO campaign does is that it allows you to adjust the budget on a campaign level, and Facebook will choose where to spend the most of the budget. And because Facebook or Meta is so intelligent and has so much data and information, I'd just rather let the machine learn and do its thing and decide whether they want to spend most of the budget in interest 1, 2, or 3. So this is, once again, a campaign that you can set your own budget on a campaign level. The most important thing here, and this is crucial, is to exclude retargeting audiences, because if you don't exclude retargeting audiences, Meta doesn't tell you, but it will do whatever it takes to get the low-hanging fruit. We don't want to get low-hanging fruit from prospecting, because prospecting, as it says itself, is top-of-funnel campaigns. People that never heard of your brand, never engage with your brand, and have zero understanding of knowledge of who you are, what you sell, what is your offer proposition in the market, everything. So we want to make sure that we exclude retargeting, because here is where the retargeting is going to go. This is where retargeting is going to go, not over here. So exclude it. Now, what we want to do is test many different interests. I suggest if you have a $100 budget, make sure that you leave around 15 to, if you have a low budget, maybe $10 to $20 per interest. So if you have $50 budget on a campaign, make sure to not test more than 5 different interests, or else it's too of a stretch, okay? For our clients, we typically, since they maybe have a little higher budget, we distribute it with like $20 per interest. So if we have a $100 budget, we do 5 interests. That's what we like to do. And by the way, here it says UGC just because I know that it works so well, and we like to scale with user-generated content, but this works with any type of creative, and we don't only, run UGC ads, we run many types and different types of ads, but I just like to do the example with UGC. Either way, you do the same exact process. If you haven't noticed, the green ones are the proven ones. And guess what? The setup is very simple. You have different interests, and then you have UGC ad 1, UGC 2, and UGC 3. And this is a very simple process, okay? This is how I would set it up. Retargeting CBO, it's very simple. You have one interest, and I just call it retargeting stack. And guess what? Here is where you can retarget all your people that visited your cart, that visited your Facebook page, your Instagram page, people that watched a certain percentage of one of your video ads. You can do 25% percentile, 50 percentile, 95% of people that watched a specific video. So you can go really in depth into the retargeting. I like to stack it up and then put some UGC ads on over here. I like to do 3. And by the way, what did I want to say here? What's important is that you also have ads that are relevant to who you're targeting. So what I like to do is that if people are in the retargeting pool, perhaps they have multiple different objections that have not been answered, and so these UGC videos or these ads in general can go ahead and target that specific objection that can push them over to actually go on the website and complete their purchase. So typically these types of ads are slightly different than the retargeting ads. We've done both, don't get me wrong. We've tested prospecting UGC ads into retargeting, and it works perfectly, but it's also worth testing, a specific ad for a retargeting pool, right? Maybe if you want to give them a discount, right? So last campaign here, advantage shopping campaign, is the type of campaign that allows you to just be in control of a couple things: your budget, your creatives, and what country you want to target. That's it. The rest will be done by Facebook, and it's kind of like an AI machine learning. And these campaigns can be very profitable. The only thing that you don't have control over is who you can target. In fact, they're going to be both of retargeting and both prospecting. So both top, middle, and bottom of the funnel. And I like to leave this campaign because many times it outperforms both retargeting and both prospecting. And I like to leave it on, and if it doesn't work, maybe duplicate it, but I always like to have an advantage shopping campaign if your account allows it. Okay, and I say your account allows it because many accounts, if they start fresh, it's actually a feature that has to be enabled over time. So if you don't have it, don't panic. It's probably going to pop up in 1 or 2 months or so. Now, last thing that I want to talk about is testing new angles. Remember when I was talking about angles over here, which is one of the biggest and most important contributing factors, testing new angles. I'm going to talk about that with a very interesting product, which is a ear wax remover. Now, let me state before I go into this, rant of angles, right? Instead of only testing interests, as I say over here, and audiences, which is what everybody does, test multiple marketing angles. Test selling your product with an untapped approach. And here's a clear example. Let's go over an earwax remover. This was a client of ours. They were just selling an earwax remover. And so these are just, instead of just having a traditional ad that says, you want to get wax out of your ears, use this product, which is what 99% of people do. Here are just like different angles and words and marketing approaches. And I'm going to go through these in just a second. And you will notice what I mean when I say that you can just use, that your competitors, I can guarantee you, are not using. So we're selling the earwax remover. Stop using Q-tips as they push your wax further in. A lot of people are not actually aware, but Q-tips are not the solution for your earwax. It was maybe in 1920, but it's definitely a very old traditional method. Another angle with like similar to angle 1 could be like Q-tips don't work anymore, right? And it's the same exact angle. So we're saying something that they use, which is Q-tips, and we're just eliminating that and coming up with a new solution, which is your product, and that solves their problem. Angle 2, are you tired of dirty AirPods? Right? This is a huge angle because a lot of people, once again, they talk about, okay, here's a product to clean your ears, but what about here's a product to clean and to make sure your AirPods are not dirty? And I can guarantee you, everybody at one point have pulled up their AirPods and have seen earwax on it, and it's pretty gross and it's pretty disgusting. So this is another angle. Another angle to test on this earwax remover product could be, my husband bought this to see inside my ears. So like a couple and type of relationship type of product, or I buy it, I also buy it for my partner. We look each other in each other's ears and remove wax. So that's kind of a funny angle. And I have a client that actually tested all these 3 angles. The AirPod angle was the one that was the most profitable one. It was crazy. I have a crazy case study actually where the client himself alone went from 0 to like $30,000 a day in revenue in just like 2 or 3 weeks, which is really absurd. And the earwax remover product was already saturated, and he was able to untap and find this winning angle just by testing angles. And it's what a lot of people don't do. Once again, they just stop with one angle, and if it doesn't work, they give up. Test multiple angles. Okay, so this is it for my video. I hope this was valuable. I know that I rant a lot about marketing, but it's because I get excited about it. Once again, here's the proof. No BS. $363,000 in revenue in 30 days. Super recent case study. Let me know if you have any questions, and let me know also what topics you want me to discuss so that I can just do a video next week about it. Either way, let me know if this was valuable to you. Like, subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye. On a further note, feel free to book your strategy session with our team by clicking the button down below. In this session, we will audit your brand, come up with a custom plan of action, and then we'll explore the opportunity of potentially working together, assuming it's a perfect fit. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. It means a lot, and hopefully see you on the other side.